Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Listen Up as I'm coming to you straight after another UConn Huskies victory. Final score from today's game 101 to 59 in favor of our UConn Huskies. Another very dominant win for today. But I get straight into the game recap here for you guys. Couple little notes before. I believe Caroline Ducharme was again warming up with the team. I know she's trying to make a very hard effort to play again play this season. There was a pink theme for today's game as it was a play for K pink game, and UConn honored Abby, who unfortunately passed away in October from cancer. Huskies wearing shirts during warm-ups and on the bench during the game. Gino was also wearing a shirt saying "Love Abby." But again, same starting lineup for the 10th straight game for the Huskies. And UConn got straight out of the gates early. AZ threw a dart inside to Sarah Strong for an easy layup. Paige Bueckers got a steal and score. And shortly after, blew by the defender for an easy bucket. And UConn got quite a few easy buckets, and it was because of making the extra pass and finding the open teammate. Butler found their stroke from outside after a slow start. They hit a three. They hit three from downtown within a couple minutes, but it was a similar story as it has been for the most of these Big East games. The Huskies just too much for their opponents to handle between the forced turnovers, perfect passes, and great movement and screens. Huskies grew their lead to 16 points after just one quarter, and the Huskies really capitalized on those turnovers as they almost scored half their points in the first half off of turnovers. And again, a lot of great things that I saw on offense. Everybody moving, setting screens, letting the play develop, and finding the open teammate and taking a lot of great shots and of course making them just puts the cherry on top. Butler went about 4 minutes without scoring in the second quarter. Score at halftime was UConn 59, Butler 26. So Huskies had 30 points in the paint and 25 points off of turnovers, which is mostly how they win a lot of these Big East games, by dominating down low, forcing the other team into a lot of turnovers. And Alan Bestwick said it best on the broadcast today. The theme of the third quarter was blocks and buckets, as it was for most of the game, honestly, or steals and buckets. But there was some outstanding stats in this game that I wanted to read. Huskies shot 64% from the field, but even more impressive is shooting 11 of 19, 58% from three-point range. Now that's consistency that wins big time games, especially in the postseason. So hopefully we can keep that hot streak up from 3-point range. UConn forced Butler into 22 turnovers, but I will say Butler didn't really shoot too bad from the floor either, especially given the Huskies' pressure the whole game. They made 12 three-pointers themselves, so not too bad from the Bulldogs team. Paige Bueckers, I said she would have a bounce-back game after her last performance. She did. Bueckers a lot more aggressive today. That paid off early in this game. Led with 18 points. AZ Flood, Ashlyn Shades scored 13 apiece. Very efficient from the floor, as was pretty much the whole team today for the Huskies. KK Arnold, a perfect 6 of 6, speaking of efficiency, with 12 points. KK and Ash continuing to impress off of the bench. Sarah Strong had 11, and Janelle Alfie was the fifth Husky to get into double digits with 10 points. She had some good looks down low. Pretty good game from her, I would say. Final score, like I said, 100 to 59. So to top it all off, UConn scoring triple digits. But we will get into a couple comments as always from the last video. And we will start with Lindsay Matthews. They said, "This is a great game for us Connecticut fans because it's on a Sunday afternoon when there's no school and kids can attend. I hope the game is competitive. We need to be challenged as much as possible and even lose a few to get ready for March and the UConn next attempt, number 12. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was another sold out crowd, I believe, which is no surprise in the XL Center for today. So that's always good to see. I think a lot of these games, even now in February, are starting to already sell out for the home games for the Huskies. But yeah, definitely too a lot of younger fans in attendance today to cheer on their UConn Huskies, which was good to see. And yeah, this wasn't really the game, unfortunately, that UConn got challenged in. But as me and Phil have been mentioning, we got a big one coming up on Thursday against Tennessee. So I expect UConn to get a little challenged in that game. But next comment will go from Brorick. They said AZ is really moving so fast in transition. On defense, her lateral movement is excellent. It seems like she's recovered from that sprained knee. We need to see more of Aubrey before March. Yeah, I would agree with AZ. She had a really good game, I would say, today. Like I said, very efficient from the floor. I think she is moving quite well given her past injuries. I'm glad she was able to recover from that injury this season. Unfortunately, she went down again before, obviously she came back and then got injured again. But yeah, hopefully she stays healthy the rest of the year. She definitely looks pretty good now that she's gotten settled in. Honestly, the past month, I would say, really, really settled in quite well on the team in the starting lineup, starting to shoot the ball a lot better. We all know she can score in bunches. She did that again today. And yeah, Aubrey Griffin, obviously hasn't played much this season because of her ACL injury late last season. But, I think Gino just trying to ease her into these games, only getting around 7 to 8 minutes, I would say Aubrey is. So, her attempts is limited from the field, but she did score a couple today. As soon as she got in the game, actually, KK found her down inside the paint. So it's always good to see Aubrey out there. Honestly, not too sure how much we'll see Aubrey in March, given how many good players are on this team. But given Aubrey did choose to come back for her final year at UConn, hopefully we see her out there some. Hopefully she gets at least 10 to 12, 13 minutes, somewhere in that range off the bench in the postseason. Last comment we'll go to from BNR Soldier. They said, "Hey Phil and Rye, I'm calling another 100+ point win. I think Paige and Sarah both are coming off a bad game at the same time, so expect total domination." Well, you definitely called it on that one. Definitely total domination, and they did score 100 plus with a 101 point victory for the total score for UConn. So that was a good call. Yeah, great shooters very rarely have back-to-back games where they struggle. So, it was a pretty easy call to say Paige Bueckers was going to have a bounce-back game in this one. And, Sarah Strong just been so consistent the whole entire year. Only one or two bad games, I would say, out of her, which is pretty incredible given she is just a freshman. But that will do it for me for today. Another very dominant win for this Husky team against Butler today. And me and Phil will be back for a very, very important last check-in video on Tuesday against Tennessee. But for now, that's been Rye on Listen Up, and I will see you guys on Tuesday.